Hi, we just want to send a wee video to everybody to get us all ready for gathering again as a church family. Personally, really excited that the thought that this Sunday we're back in the old schoolhouse, worshipping together again. It's so good for us to be together as a church community, and corporate worship is great for us spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And I'm sure lots of us will be really excited about coming back, but also some of us will have questions or will be feeling a little bit wary or anxious. So I've got Anna Lauren, Louise, and Laird with me just to share a little bit of wisdom on what it will be like to come back to church, and also some of the practicalities that you can expect on Sunday mornings. So there are some of us who I'm sure are just bursting to get back and don't have a care in the world about it. We just want to get on with it and no worries. But then others will actually feel quite different about it, that, you know, the past year has been exceptionally difficult for them in some ways. They've suffered loss. They've felt very lonely. Their life has changed significantly. And they're carrying quite a lot of burdens with them as they sort of emerge out of lockdown. And so coming to church can be quite an emotional experience anyway. You might be worried that you're just going to start crying and can't stop, or maybe you're just not used to being around people anymore and you find it quite tiring, just the thought of it. So, Anna Lauren, I know you've been thinking about this and chatting to people about it. What would you say to the people who are feeling a bit more wary or anxious?
Well, yeah, like you said, I think some people are really excited to be back and just can't wait to see other people. And for others, it's just really not straightforward. Um, I think, a number of us will be actually kind of feeling spiritually numb or just a bit rubbish. And we just kind of want to say that you won't be the only one, that lots of people are feeling spiritually dry after this, and that's really okay, that we need grace from God and from one another. We all do, and that's our true state, and no one has to pretend. Um, so please don't worry about that. You'll be in good company. Um, I think some people who have been through really deep loss as well are wondering how they can come back and be in a group of people. And we just really want to reassure you that we understand that, you can't go through this year without it having an effect on you. Don't feel like you should be further on in getting yourself back together than you are. Again, you don't need to pretend, and let's all agree not to do that. Let's all agree to extend the grace to one another that God's given to us. We want to say that it's really okay to be emotional. This is not scary or abnormal. We're probably all going to be emotional to one degree or another. So just feel free to cry, or feel free to not want to talk to anybody. We can all be sensitive to one another and give each other space, and be patient with one another about this. And that's okay. And another thing we wanted to say is, if you're feeling this way, you're worried about coming back to worship, or you've suffered great loss and you're wondering where do you begin again with people, please come and speak to Louise or Neil or Laird or myself. We'd love to know how you're feeling, and we'd love to talk about what we can do to help.
Thanks, Anna Lauren. Yeah, I think important for us not to make assumptions about other people and just give each other space. And uh, Laird, what about some people probably just feel disconnected? You know,
Yeah,
not been around church much. What do you say about that?
so there's going to be a number of different people who maybe have enjoyed the break from church during last year. You've enjoyed spending quiet Sundays together with your family or doing your own thing. There's others who might just be feeling that they've become a bit of a spiritual failure. But that's our true state, and this drives us to Jesus and to one another in our need for new spiritual life. It's not to be found anywhere else. And again, there will be others who feel as if they've fallen away from the church during the pandemic. And now you might be feeling a wee bit awkward about returning back. You might think, it's so ungenuine. I kind of walked away, but now I'm back. And you're worried that people will judge you or will make a big song and dance about you coming back. But just know that we care for you, and that we're just very happy that you're with us and returning to us.
Yeah. Louise, what would you say just on that issue?
Yeah, well, for me, it has actually been quite good just to get up in the morning and go downstairs and watch my TV for church, and it's been very relaxing, I have to say. I have really enjoyed it, but I know that that's not what it's all about. You know, of course there's good things about hanging out with your family on a Sunday morning and just switching on the service. It's been lovely. But it's not all about that. You know, the church is about community, about gathering together, you know, about showing to the world what a difference Jesus makes. And, you know, it's not just about me turning up. It's not just for me either. You know, if I'm going to church this Sunday and I'm so excited because I'm going to see Anna Lauren, for instance, you know, and I'm really excited to see Anna Lauren because I haven't seen her in ages. And Anna Lauren thinks, well, actually, I'm just not going to go because, you know, I just don't really feel up to it. And, you know, I just rather stay at home. Not that I'm thinking Anna Lauren has much of a choice, but but Anna Lauren, you know, I'm going to go to church and she's not there. I really feel I'm going to be missing something, you know, because I'm missing her, the community aspect of hanging out with Anna Lauren or just seeing her. And so I'm saying it's not just all about us, you know. So it's about other people as well, and other people, you know, we forget or we minimize the impact that it has on other people when we're not there.
That's really helpful. You know, and we do want to say to people, you might not have tuned into a single Zoom meeting the whole year and think, how do I just show up again now? It's fine. We understand why people didn't want to be on Zoom very much. We love you and we can't wait to see you. So show up if you can, because we will benefit from seeing each other. We'll be a great encouragement to each other. There's a few other things I think that I would really just want to communicate to people in advance of church coming back together on Sunday morning. So I've got a few questions for each of you. So Laird, just say I'm sort of feeling a bit nervous about gathered worship in case I get COVID or I spread COVID. I want to come, but I'm not feeling very comfortable. How are we making things safe for everyone?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've gone through the building and we've carried out a full risk assessment. So we really are trying really hard to make this as safe and as comfortable for everyone. So we are going to be maintaining very strict hygiene rules and the distancing rules which the government have set for us.
And no corporate singing and mask wearing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, mask wearing.
So, and of course, none of us have been worshipping in the old schoolhouse for a couple of years, and now we're coming back to it and it's going to be so different. So what should people expect as they arrive on a Sunday morning? So
when you first arrive at the new old schoolhouse, you'll probably be forming a queue with others, distance of course, and then once you're entered into the building, your temperature will be taken, you'll be registered, and then you will be ushered to your seat. And during the service, we will run things as normal as we can. The one big miss will be the corporate singing, but everything else should feel very familiar, and it'll be a lovely time just to gather again with our church family. So Anna Lauren, I'm uncertain about the layout of the new old schoolhouse. Is there a place I can escape to if I'm just feeling a bit overwhelmed or I need a little break?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, we think probably the best place to go would be, we have 4 lovely new toilets. They're really nice and clean and spacious and quiet. So if anybody feels like things are getting too much or they're feeling a bit emotional and just want to go somewhere to compose themselves, please feel totally free to make use of those, and just have a moment to yourself. That's completely fine. Don't feel like that's a last resort.
Okay, Louise, what if I just can't cope somehow, or I just need to leave? What happens?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea if you feel that you have the potential for this to sit near the back, you know, and I think the ushers will be sensitive to this if you say to them, you know, I really want to sit near the back, so that you can just you can leave. The door, the front door will be manned at all times, so you'll be able to leave at any point during the service. You're not going to be kept there against your will.
No prisoners kept. Okay. No. Anna Lauren, what if I want to take my kids to church? Is there creche? Is there kids' church?
So unfortunately, we're not able to run creche or kids' church just now. We would love to see the kids. Kids are really welcome. We'd be so happy to see the kids. If you do want to bring your kids, please just make sure to add them to your registration form for numbers. But we do hope to start kids' church at some point in the near future.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring an end to this, but we do look forward to seeing everybody as soon as possible. Remember, God loves you, whoever you are, whatever you've been through, no matter how you feel. God's fatherly heart bursts with love for you, and so do ours. We love you. We can't wait to see you and be with you again. So thanks just for sticking with us.